A woman will do this when you stop talking to her. High value. Men must know. Ever wondered what happens when you stop reaching out to her? In today's world, where instant replies and social media validation reign, silence isn't just a pause, it's a statement. This isn't about playing games or ignoring her. It's about creating a moment of introspection that can reveal her true feelings. Today, we're diving into the surprising effects that stepping back can have on her mindset. Stick around, because this insight could reshape the way you approach relationships for good. Section 1. Silence ignites her curiosity. The first thing that happens when you go silent, you spark her curiosity. Today's digital world constantly showers women with attention, from likes on their photos to messages from friends and admirers. This stream of validation is part of everyday life. So when someone who was once consistent suddenly stops, it leaves a gap she can't ignore. This silence isn't just a lack of communication. It disrupts the rhythm she's grown accustomed to. She might start to feel subtle anxiety, a sense that something is off. Questions like, why hasn't he reached out? Is he okay? Did I do something wrong? Begin to creep in. Suddenly, she's more aware of your absence, and by extension of you. It's not just that you aren't texting, it's the message your silence sends. Here, silence becomes your statement. The longer it lasts, the more it stands out. She may even find herself checking her phone more often, waiting for a notification that doesn't come. If she sees you're active online without reaching out, her curiosity only grows. She might start watching your stories, liking your posts, or engaging with your content as a subtle way of reaching out. By doing nothing, you create a scenario where she feels compelled to bridge the gap, flipping the usual dynamic. Section 2. Creating a shift in attention. By going silent, you create a subtle but powerful shift in focus, from you on her to her on you. In today's fast-paced world, attention is a precious commodity, and everyone is vying for it in one way or another. When you step back, you become an outlier, making her wonder why you're not behaving as expected. This shift introduces scarcity, something humans naturally value over abundance. When your attention is no longer a given, she starts to reflect on the connection she shared with you. Suddenly, moments with you take on more significance, becoming memories that are more vivid and important simply because they're tied to something now rare. In doing so, you challenge her assumptions. Where she once took your attention for granted, you show her that it's not automatic. This unpredictability draws her in, as she begins to see you as someone who's independent and self-sufficient, qualities that stand out in modern dating. The shift in focus makes her more likely to reach out, whether through a like on your post, a quick message, or a random meme. These small gestures reveal that she's thinking about you more than she intended, and you've gone from being just another message to someone on her mind. Section 3. Testing her true feelings. Stepping back can be a simple yet insightful way to gauge her true feelings. Her actions, or the absence of them, will tell you more than words alone could. This isn't about manipulation, it's about getting clarity. In modern dating, where intentions can be unclear, your silence becomes a form of litmus test. Ever wondered what really happens when you step back and stop reaching out to her? In a world driven by instant replies and social media validation, silence isn't just a pause, it's a bold statement. This isn't about ignoring her or playing games. It's about creating a moment that lets you see her true feelings. Today, we'll dive into the surprising impact that going silent can have on her mindset. Stick around, because this insight could change the way you approach relationships for good. Section 1. Silence as a filter. If she genuinely values you and the connection you share, your absence won't go unnoticed. You might receive a seemingly casual text like, "Hey, just checking in," or "Haven't heard from you in a while. Everything okay?" These small messages hint that your presence meant more to her than she let on. The key isn't to jump right back in. Instead, pay attention to her effort. Does she try to keep the conversation going? Does she ask questions or show genuine interest? These little signs reveal how invested she really is. But if she doesn't reach out at all, it's revealing in its own way. Though it might be disappointing, it's ultimately freeing because it saves you time and emotional energy in the long run. You won't have to wonder about her level of interest or spend time with someone who was only half-hearted. The beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity. Her response, or lack thereof, tells you everything you need to know to decide on your next move. This step is essential in today's dating scene, where superficial interactions can make it hard to gauge real feelings. Seeing how she reacts brings clarity and lets you prioritize your time and emotions. This isn't about making her miss you out of spite. It's about knowing your worth and seeing if she values it too. Section 2. Shifting the power dynamic. One of the most profound effects of going silent is the shift in the power dynamic between you and her. Often the person showing more attention holds less power, while the one who remains slightly detached gains more. By going silent, you subtly show that you're not always at her beck and call, which changes the balance. This shift is intriguing to her because it's not what she's used to. Imagine someone who's always there, instantly replying and showing consistent interest. Initially, it's appreciated, but over time, predictability can lead to complacency. By stepping back, you send a powerful message. You're not dependent on her attention for your self-worth. This realization changes her perception of you, making you someone valuable and self-assured, which naturally draws her in. This power shift taps into the nature of attraction. People are drawn to those who exude confidence and independence. By pulling back, you show that your life doesn't revolve around her, setting you apart from others who constantly seek her validation. This quiet confidence might prompt her to reevaluate you, perhaps even reigniting her interest as she considers reaching out to re-establish the balance. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about showing that you have your own life, interests, and boundaries. Modern women, especially those who are independent and driven, respect men who demonstrate this kind of self-assurance. Your silence reflects that you value yourself enough to step back when necessary, a powerful and subtle way to spark her interest. Section 3. Igniting a sense of uncertainty. One often overlooked outcome of going silent is how it creates a sense of uncertainty for her. Modern relationships often thrive on predictability and constant communication, so when you pull back, you disrupt the familiar pattern and make her question the connection. This uncertainty is powerful because it taps into a basic human emotion, fear of the unknown. When she doesn't understand why you've gone quiet, she may start second-guessing herself. Did you say something wrong? Has your attention shifted elsewhere? These questions can spark a mix of emotions from confusion to subtle anxiety. She may even replay past interactions in her head, looking for clues or signs that could explain your silence. This heightened awareness of your absence amplifies your presence in her mind. Uncertainty also creates intrigue, making her see you in a new, mysterious light. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully understand, and your silence introduces an element of complexity that makes her more invested in figuring you out. The question, "What is he thinking?" becomes a thought that lingers, pulling her attention back to you. Section 4. Awakening her competitive instinct. Silence can also spark a sense of competition in her. In a world where attention is a form of validation, your absence may trigger her fear of losing her place in your life. She might wonder if someone else now holds your attention, which can awaken a sense of competition she didn't even realize she had. Modern dating often involves subtle power plays, where people vie for emotional leverage without being fully aware of it. When she senses she may be losing that leverage, she might take more proactive steps to regain your attention. This could look like reaching out more often, finding ways to be where you are, or making small gestures to remind you she's around. Ever noticed how silence can shift the dynamics between you and her? Sometimes a simple pause can be the spark that shifts her perception of you. This isn't about ignoring her or playing games. It's about creating space that reveals her genuine feelings. Let's explore how stepping back can affect her thoughts, actions, and emotions. By the end of this, you might just rethink how you approach modern relationships. Section 1. Subtle gestures to get your attention. When you step back, you may notice her making subtle moves to get your attention again. These aren't always conscious. They often emerge as bursts of engagement or unexpected efforts to connect. This drive to compete for your attention is rooted in a desire to feel valued. By pulling back, you've shown that your attention isn't guaranteed, and that shift can spark her to act differently. She may dress up more, post eye-catching photos, or drop hints that recall shared memories, little nudges to bring you back into her orbit. Section 2. Making her reevaluate your worth. Silence can make her see your value in a way constant communication just can't. When you're always there, she can get too comfortable, even take you for granted. By pulling away, she has to confront what life is like without your attention. It can make her realize that you were more than just another message notification. The laughs, conversations, and shared moments start to carry more weight. If you've shown her that you're someone with depth and unique qualities, silence can amplify these qualities in her mind. She might start wondering, did I overlook something important? Did I underestimate him? This shift often leads her to reach out with more intention, respecting you as someone who's not just there at her convenience. This newfound appreciation can make future interactions feel more genuine and balanced. Section 3. Stirring a sense of longing and desire. Silence does more than just pique curiosity. It can create a sense of longing. It's human nature to desire what feels just out of reach, and your silence plays into that dynamic. When you step back, you give her room to miss you, and in that space, desire often deepens. It's not about wondering where you are. It's about feeling that void in her daily life. It might start subtly, hearing a song that reminds her of you, passing a place you visited together, or simply feeling nostalgic. Over time, these small reminders can grow into a stronger emotional response. She may even find herself romanticizing moments she once took for granted. This isn't about manipulation. It's about allowing her to process these emotions in her own time. If she reaches out during this period, it's a sign that she's feeling more than just the loss of attention. She's genuinely missing you. Section 4. Creating space for self-reflection. Your silence can also give her room for valuable self-reflection. In the fast-paced world of dating, it's easy for people to avoid thinking deeply about relationships. When you step back, she's left with her own thoughts, which can prompt her to reflect on the connection. During this time, she might ask herself questions like, why does his absence bother me? What did I really feel when